Hi fourth graders. Today in this video I'm going to be showing you how to multiply a whole number by a fraction. And this is actually the last part of our unit 4 math. So in this case I have a whole number 3 and I'm multiplying it by our fraction, which here is 1/5. So when you multiply a whole number with a fraction, you can actually use strategies that you learned in 3rd grade when you were multiplying whole numbers. And one of those strategies is repeated addition. So just like with repeated addition for whole numbers, if it's 3 times 2, you could add 3 2 times and that would give you the product. So in this case, we're going to be adding our fraction 3 times because 3 is part of our equation. So I'm going to add 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. And I added those 3 times because, again, 3 is part of our equation. So I check the denominators first. If the denominators are all the same, which they are in this case, then we can just add the numerator straight across. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, our numerator will be 3, and then the denominator stays the same. So that means that 3 times 1/5 would get you 3/5. Another strategy that you can use is changing the whole number into a fraction. So whenever you want to change a whole number into a fraction, it's as easy as just putting the whole number over 1. 3 over 1 is equivalent to 3 wholes. And that's because if you wanted to draw a picture to prove it, you'd have an area model and you would cut it into one piece. It's already in one piece because 1's our denominator. So I would have to color in 3 of them. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So 3 over 1 is actually equivalent to 3 wholes. So I'm going to change my 3 into a fraction by putting it over 1. And then I'm going to keep my fraction the same, 1/5, and multiply them together. And how you multiply fractions is actually, I like multiplying fractions because it's actually easier than it looks. All you have to do is multiply the numerators to get your product, and then multiply the denominators to get your new denominator. So 3 times 1 is 3. And then 1 times 5 is 5. So we get the product of 3/5, which is actually the same one we got when we did repeated addition, because it doesn't matter what strategy you use. If you're using it correctly, you'll get the correct answer. So another example of that, if I was to do 6 times 1/3, I know to change a whole number into a fraction, all I have to do is put it over 1. So 6 over 1 times 1/3. And then I just multiply across. So 6 times 1, our numerator would be 6. 1 times 3 would be 3. Now if you notice, this is an improper fraction because the top number is larger. In this case, you should convert it into a mixed number. And we can convert by dividing. 6 divided by 3 . Most of you know that 3 times 2 would get us 6, so 6 minus 6 is 0, which means we have no remainder, which actually changes our mixed number to just a whole number. So 6/3 is equal to 2. There is no fraction next to the whole number. So if I said I ate 6/3 cookies, it's the same thing as saying you ate 2 whole cookies. So this is how you multiply a whole number by a fraction. Now you know 2 strategies. You could do repeated addition, or you can put the whole number over 1 and then multiply across.